Hi, coaches. Thanks again for volunteering to coach the kids in another season of flag football here at the Hereford Sports and Wellness. I tell every coach in every video that we appreciate them so much. Our programs here cannot function without the help of our volunteers. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your accessibility to coach these kids and help us out. Players in flag football must be in kindergarten through 6th grade for this school year. The equipment we're going to check out to you guys, we're going to give you some flags and flag belts. We're going to give you a couple of practice game balls. K through 3rd grade, we'll use the pee-wee size football. And 4th through 6th grade, we'll use junior size football. And on this equipment, please get it in as soon as you can after the season. One of our biggest things is to provide equipment for coaches, and we want to continue to do that, so please return that so we can continue to do that during each season. When your players are out there, they got to have their assigned Hereford Sports and Wellness shirt that we've given them. If they don't have a shirt on, we don't know if they're even on the roster or playing, so make sure they have that shirt. If something happens to the shirt or comes up lost, just reach out to somebody at Hereford Sports and Wellness. We can see what we can do. But they must have it to play and must be tucked in. And you must have 2 flags on it each time. They must hang down from the sides of the waist. They can't be pinned down, tied, or sewn on the belt. They have to be loose and ready to pull. Tennis shoes and rubber turf shoes are the only shoes allowed. No metal spikes, nothing like that. Hats of any kind, no hats. No players with hats on. No hats are permitted at all. And if they've been injured and they have a hard cast or a plaster cast, they cannot play in the game either. That's too much of an injury risk for themselves and for other kids running around with the cast on. Game rules. A team must have a minimum of 7 players to begin a game and no less than 6 players after the start of the game. Now, with that said, we're going to use our judgment. If you get out there, you have less players and you can even it out and the teams want to play, let's try to play if we can. Forfeits will not be made up. So if you can play the game, the refs are okay with it, the coaches are okay with it, then we'll do that. Each team must allow a minimum of 4 different players to carry the ball. If you have an outstanding kid that's just ahead of the game, you cannot give him the ball every time. You've got to, at least 4 different players have to carry the ball. Each game will consist of 4 10-minute quarters with a running clock. If it makes it easier for you guys as coaches, get together, you can run 1 20-minute half with the running clock. Instead of the quarters, you can do the half. Each halftime will be 5 minutes. Each team will be allowed 2 1-minute timeouts per half. So you get 2 timeouts, but for only 1 minute per half. But if you don't, let's say you don't use any timeouts in the first half, they do not carry over. You still only get 2 for the second half. And the officials can stop that running clock if there's an injury, something that's went on that they feel they need to stop the clock. Officials do have that discretion to do that. That will be up to whatever's going on then. A 2-minute warning will be given before halftime and before the end of the game. The clock will not be stopped. It's still a running clock. They're just letting you guys know, hey, 2 minutes left, so if you need to rush, you need to rush. Game time is forfeit time. Let's be on time. We have schedules. We need everybody to get on time. Teams don't share the same sideline. Make sure you're on opposite sidelines, fans and teams, so that way we got some room over there. Touchdowns will be worth 6 points. Ball is put in play at the 3-yard line for an extra point attempt. There will be no extra points or field goals, or kicks or field goals, should I say. 1 point will be awarded. If you run the ball for your extra point, you'll get 1 point. If you throw the ball on your extra point, you'll get 2 points. A safety will be worth 2 points during the game. If the team's attempting an extra point attempt, if they intercept or fumble the ball that does not touch the ground, it may be returned by the defense for 2 points. Ball fumbles, if it's on the ground, they pick it up, that's dead ball. But if they fumble, it's up in the air, they get it, they can take that back for 2 points. The playing field is going to be 40 yards by 80 yards long. There'll be a 30-second play clock that starts once the official blows the whistle into play. A first down, it's just in any flag football, it's going to be to the next line to gain, which they'll have some cones set up, or pylons, or 20 yards, whichever comes first. A tackle, you stop a player from running or passing or anything by just pulling a flag. If a flag falls out before anybody pulls it, that player can still run, but once someone touches that player, it is dead. So the runner, even though the flag fell off, they can still go, but they must be tagged before they're stopped. Charging is not allowed by any player. You cannot charge at another player at all. Like charging into them to avoid a tackle. Like if they're running into you, just bowling their head down, it's not allowed. Can't do it. No kickoffs. The ball's going to be placed at the 30-yard line at the receiving team. The clock will start as soon as we place that ball on the 30-yard line. Following a safety, the ball will spot on the 50-yard line. There are no punts either. When fourth down is announced, your team will have the option to either go for it or they can turn the ball over, and the opposing team will receive the ball where the play ended. If the fourth down is played and a first down is not reached, the opposing team will receive the ball where the play ended. So wherever that play ended, they will get the ball there. If they choose to turn the ball over and not go for it, the other team will get the ball at their 30-yard line. The ball is dead when ball carrier's flag is pulled. Ball is fumbled and hits the ground. If it fumbles, hits the ground, there's no return. The ball's dead. The ball carrier's knee hits the ground. An offensive player's flag is pulled. A ball carrier steps out of bounds. A touchdown is scored. On your offensive alignment, this is really confusing. Guys are really confused about this every year. Offensive alignment must include a minimum of 3 players on the line of scrimmage. Defensive alignment must include a minimum of 3 players on the line of scrimmage. The defensive lineman must be at least 1 yard off the line of scrimmage at the snap. Linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties must be 3 yards off the line of scrimmage at the snap. The defense cannot intentionally attempt to cause the offense to false start. No jumping and trying to get them to jump. You can't do it. It will be a flag on the other team. Now that will be a judgment called by the referee. There may be only 1 offensive player in motion at a time. 1 player. Shield screen blocking is the only blocking allowed. Blocking below the waist is not permitted. Shield screen blocking is defined as a blocker impeding the defender's line of play. That means like almost a pick in basketball, if that makes sense. Once the defender passes the blocker must let the defender go and stop moving after him. He cannot keep shuffling to try to keep blocking him. The blocker may not use their hands, their hips, their legs, knees, or extended arms to block. Once the ball carrier has passed the line of scrimmage, you may not block downfield. So if a player's running, gets past the line of scrimmage, you cannot follow the player and try to get in front and block. None of that. A player must have 1 foot in bounds when making a catch. So we're playing the high school and college rules here. They must have 1 foot in the catch. They can have 1 out. They can have 1 out. An incomplete pass behind the line of scrimmage constitutes a fumble and the play is dead at the spot of incompletion. Interceptions may advance if the player has 2 flags legally attached to their belt. If not, the interception will stand and the ball will be declared dead at the point of interception. The ball must be snapped to the quarterback to begin play. You may have 1 lateral pass behind the line of scrimmage. A direct handoff, toss, or pitch behind the line of scrimmage is legal. The player who takes the handoff, toss, or pitch can throw the ball as long as they do not pass the line of scrimmage. Spinning is allowed, but players cannot leave their feet in an attempt to avoid a defensive player. You cannot jump. Don't do that. It's a dead ball. Only 2 players are allowed to rush the quarterback across the line of scrimmage. These 2 players must begin their rush from outside the shoulder of the offensive tackle and at least 1 yard off the line of scrimmage. You lining the people up on your defense, you got to be outside those tackles. You can't bull rush up the middle. It's got to be around. And only 2 at a time can rush. But if they do hand the ball off to a runner, then all defenders can rush the ball carrier. It's open game then. If you're not rushing the quarterback, you can stay at the line too also if they're back to pass. You can stay at the line of scrimmage and kind of roam right there. If the quarterback decides to run or pass and is outside the tackles, the entire defense may rush. Once he's outside those tackles, it's free game. If the quarterback moves toward the line of scrimmage, all defenders may rush. So the only time you only have to have 2 rushers is if the quarterback's dropped back. If he's running to the line, running around, free game. If the quarterback goes back to pass while inside the tackles, only the 2 can rush. Just remember that. All penalties will be assessed from original line of scrimmage. 5-yard offensive penalties include false start, illegal blocking, downfield blocking, charging, flag guarding, illegal forward pass, pass interference, leaving feet to avoid a tackle, and delay of game. 5-yard defensive penalties include offsides, illegal rush, charging, leaving feet to dive for a flag, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties from coaches, players, and fans, A first offense, 15 yards, and automatic first down. Second offense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, and the coach, player, or fan will be asked to leave the area. Let's not get to that situation where you're getting coaches, players, and fans getting too unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't get one to begin with, but if you get two, you will be asked to leave. Individuals ejected from the game will be contacted by Hereford Sports and Wellness Office to look into what the next steps will be. So just remember, coaches, you're responsible for the physical and mental well-being of these kids. Have fun. Make it a really good experience for them. Maintain an adequate level of discipline. Don't have your kids out there fighting with other teams or your fans or yourself. Just make sure that you're in control. That you're responsible for the control and conduct of your team. Fans, spectators, kids, everything. Ensure minimum playing time is met for all players. All assistant coaches that you have, make sure they have a background. Anyone that's working with the kids, even if it's at practice. Let's say you have 2 or 3 fathers or guys or ladies that are helping you with practice. They must have a background to work with our kids, okay? We appreciate you following the guidelines on that. All right, remember, coach, and flag football games are going to be played on Mondays and Fridays. Like I said, if a team doesn't have 7 players present, get with the refs and the other coaches, and we can decide if you want to play with the numbers you got. If you choose to, one offensive coach will be allowed in the huddle. Once the huddle breaks, you must be 10 yards back. You can't go up with them and keep coaching them. Once you're out of the huddle, you got to get back. No coaching or running with the play, anything like that. If you choose to, one defensive coach may line the defense up. Once the huddle breaks, coaches must step forwards, one sideline or the other. Make sure you're not in the way of the players or officials. Make sure coaches, fans, players know profane, obscene, abusive, or degrading language. That's not going to be tolerated at all. No aggressive or abusive manner out there to any kids, any opposing teams, parents, anything like that. I know it's not going to get to this, but any act of type violence or physical stuff could lead to your suspension from coaching or participating in Hereford Sports and Wellness Sports. Accept the decisions of the officials. It's really hard to find officials. The ones we have, we need to appreciate and respect. If you have a question, just rule related, and you're not liking the way rules are being interpreted, wait till after the game. Call someone at Hereford Sports and Wellness. We can work with you on that. And that's a lot better than making a scene at the site. Do not approach a referee after a game or anything like that. Same with the parent. Do not be approaching referees or anything like that. Let us help you if you really do have a concern. No use of drugs, alcohol, or tobacco are allowed anywhere near the fields or at the field. Do not permit any ineligible players to play. And at the end of the day, please just use good sportsmanship. Have any questions, call anybody at Hereford Sports and Wellness. We appreciate you. Thanks. Have a great season.